It's the Sumo Show. No, not quite. It's Friday night, the of day 6 of the Natsu Basho 2025 Natsu Basho, and tonight is the night we had scheduled for a Sumo Show where Troy and I were going to discuss days 1 to 6 and look at what happened in the um, Fantasy Oyakata game so far. However, things happen. A little last minute upset in the plans. Troy can't be here. I looked at maybe getting a co-host to come in and do it with me, but Troy and I also talked about doing it another time. And so our plan is to come back tomorrow, Saturday, May 17th. It's not exactly sure what time. So you want to keep your eye uh, on the uh, YouTube group in particular. I think it's going to be probably sometime in the early afternoon Pacific time. So somewhere between like noon and 3 Pacific time. We will make a post about it if we can ahead of time. Right now, it's not. I wish I could tell you exactly when, but that hasn't been decided. And the thing that took Troy away has taken Troy away, so I can't talk with him about it right now. Everything's fine. Everything's good. We'll be back and talk about that. I'm maybe since I'm here anyway, maybe I'll talk a little bit about what I'm looking at here in the Basho so far. We finished day 6. We've got 3 undefeated rikishi remaining. I believe we got Onosato and Hakuoho and who else? Who else? There's one more, isn't it? Hakuoho, Nishikiki. No, Nishikiki. Is it just the two of them? No, no, no. Yeah, just Hakuoho and Onosato. That feels wrong. I was sure there was someone else who was 6-0. But I'm looking at my list here, and it sure doesn't seem like that's the case. So yeah, two rikishi who have well, certainly Onosato is the big one to look at, right? We talked about him uh, with a potential Yokozuna promotion if he can win this tournament, or really if he gets 13 or more wins, he's got a very good chance at it. If he gets 14 or more wins, I think even if he loses in a playoff, um, he will he'll still get the promotion. He's looking too much like a Yokozuna. So I mean he's still got 9 days to go. So there's a lot that can happen right now. And I started the tournament pretty hot on the idea that he was going to get the promotion. First 6 days, he's looking pretty good. Um, but yes, that's what's going on there. Hakuoho, little stranger. Although let's see, when we do the Fantasy Oyakata roundup, you'll see I picked him for my team, and I mentioned that last weekend. And so I mean, I guess I'm a little surprised that he's undefeated. I'm not surprised that he's doing well, and certainly makes my Fantasy Oyakata team very happy that he is one of our undefeateds still going. Um, he's looking very strong. Ever since he came up 2 years ago, made that big rush on his debut and injured his shoulder so badly that he had to have surgery and dropped way down. In his comeback, I've been expecting him to have this kind of breakout performance again because he really seemed to have that in hand. Maybe it's smarter for him to do it slowly, the way he had been. We talked about a similar thing for Takeru Fuji, um, but Hakuoho is looking the kind of dominant that I was hoping he would be, and if this is something he can continue to do, he's going to be in that mix up in the Sanyaku pretty soon. Um, the Daisho lost on day 6. So he had been among the undefeateds. He, of course, is going for that Ozeki promotion if he can get 13 wins, which is a really, really big ask. And the only way for him to do that, I would think, is for him to have this super strong first week. I think he needs to win his 2 middle weekend bouts. If he can come out of the middle weekend at 7-1, um, I'd say he's got a fighting chance to get those 13 wins and potentially get an Ozeki promotion. Who else? Takayasu, we talked about at the beginning, as someone who's looking forward, who's publicly come out and said that he was interested in getting back to his Ozeki rank, which he lost a number of years ago. He is not having nearly as good a tournament. He's only got one win so far. He has 1-5 after 6 days. Not looking. I mean, it's not looking bad, and it's really no surprise, right? He's getting up there in years. He's in his early 30s. He's suffered a lot of injuries. Expecting him to do the kind of sumo he did last tournament, back to back to back for 3 more tournaments, is kind of a dream. I mean, it would be great if he could, but I was always a little skeptical of that. I didn't expect him to be 1-5 at this point, but since he is a komusubi, I always say toughest rank in sumo. Your first week as a komusubi is just brutal. You hope to get through your first week with 2 or 3 wins, and he could still do that. And if he gets a win over the weekend, he'll come out with 2. If he gets 2 wins over the weekend, he'll come out with 3. Not the dominant performance you want, but as a komusubi, his second week should be significantly easier, and he could potentially rack up a whole bunch of wins. I'm not super scared that he's going to go Makekoshi yet, but it certainly doesn't look like he's going to get the 11 wins that he would need to legitimately get on an Ozeki run. Where does that leave us? The one person I haven't talked about yet is our Yokozuna, Hoshoryu, who has once again lost twice in week 1. I'm one of the people, and I've made no bones about this, that I was skeptical about the promotion of promoting him to Yokozuna, not because I don't think he's great. I've kind of gone out of my way to, every time we talk about this, say I think that he's a great rikishi, but I think my phrase for it is, as a Yokozuna, he's a very strong Ozeki. And I just did I wrote a little piece on today's update over on the Facebook group. In case you don't know, we've got a Facebook group for the show. Go to facebook.com/groups/The Sumo Show, or just search for The Sumo Show. It should come up. And what I was saying is, in my writing today, I was thinking about Hoshoryu and the problem that he has. And it's not, I don't think, so much a problem of him and his abilities. As I pointed out when we talked about his promotion when it first came around, the possibility, my worry was that as a Yokozuna, he's expected to win 12 or more matches bouts every tournament. And throughout his career, even recently, where he's been very strong, he's only won 10 or 11 matches most tournaments. And that's what I was worried about in him in the role as a Yokozuna. And it struck me, though, and what I was writing about today is that's a problem. That's a problem for him, because one of the things you get with the strong Yokozuna, with the Yokozuna who will get 12 or 13 or 14 wins most tournaments, is the majority of people, particularly the week 1 people who face him, come in thinking, oh my God, how am I going to beat this guy? I don't have a chance, or I need a really lucky break. So things have to go my way, and they get themselves freaked out before they ever step up onto the dohyo. But I think that because uh, Hoshoryu generally wins 10 or 11 matches a tournament, which is excellent, which is great. Um, he loses 4 or 5, and that means that the people who are ranked in the Joyi in that uh, level that is expected to fight him, most of the people who are there and feel comfortable there don't have a fear of him. And in fact, a lot of them come in, and even people ranked a little lower probably come in thinking, I can beat this guy. I got a good plan. I can beat him. And that mental shift between, I don't know how, I've got to figure something out. I got to get lucky, and I can do this. I've got confidence is everything. It's everything in any kind of sport situations. True in outside of sport in life too, but any kind of sport, coming in with that kind of confidence, that kind of relaxed approach to, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do my plan, and I could win. I could win doing that. That's that changes everything. As opposed to coming in going, well, I've got a plan, but I don't know. I better make sure I really get that grip in first, like you would facing against a Terunofuji or a Hakuho, or even a Kakuryu and um, Kiseno Sato, and all of the Yokozuna and Ozeki, all the great Yokozuna Ozeki of the most recent eras. They Everyone except the Sekiwake and the other Ozeki and Yokozuna came into the match already half defeated in their own heads, and you can't underestimate the value of that. And that's what I think Hoshoryu doesn't have. And it's not something he can work on himself. It's not a muscle he can build or an ability he can train up. The only way to get that is for him to have 2 or 3 or 4 tournaments in a row where he has 13 wins, 14 wins. You can count on him every tournament. He comes in and he's beaten everyone. He's beating everyone until the last few days when he's fighting the other championship level people. And anyone who's not that good has to start thinking, oh, I don't know, how am I going to handle that? And until he has that, I think it's going to be a challenge for him, and it's going to play out some of my fears of what might happen with him as a Yokozuna. And that is that he's just going to be kind of so Yokozuna. And we're going to see him. He's already in the one tournament and 6 days. He's given out 6 Kimboshi, the Gold Star Awards for a Maegashira ranked rikishi beating a Yokozuna. He's given out that. He gave out 4 in his first tournament. He's given out 2 more here in this tournament, and that's just not. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not the makings of a great Yokozuna. This is not the stuff of a storied Yokozuna who defines an era, and particularly for Hoshoryu, whose uncle was Asa Shoryu, who was a great Yokozuna in the early 2000s. It's just his legacy, man. I know he's got a long career, and like I say, he's great. He's going to be, barring some injury, he is going to be a 10 and above winner for the next 5, 6, 7 years. I have no doubt. But as I say, that's the performance of an Ozeki. It's not the performance of a Yokozuna. And like I say, in an era with only one Yokozuna, your expectation is that the Yokozuna is going to win half the tournaments every year, 2 out of 6, a third of the tournaments every year. The way he's fought the last year and a half, 2 years. It's he's only won one tournament each of those years, and he's only really been in the mix for maybe one other tournament a year. So I don't know. I just that people are going to keep harping on that, and I suppose that's me, right? I guess I'm one of the people harping on it. I don't I don't want to drag him down. I don't want to say bad things about him. I want him to succeed. I think that he's just in a having gotten the promotion, he's in a spot where life is just going to be harder for him because he got promoted to this level. And until he can set that bar higher, until he can make people afraid of him, make everyone afraid of him, they're going to come in, and he's going to have to be better. That's it. He is going to have to be better than the average Yokozuna, which itself is a weird phrase, because, as I say, his opponents are coming in and they think they can beat him already. Anyway, I don't want to go. I guess I've already talked about that longer than I intended to. I'll talk about that again tomorrow with Troy when we come back and talk about it. Also, I'm not going to show what's going on with the Fantasy Oyakata game yet. I'm going to save that because I want to surprise Troy. And if I put it up there, he might watch this and find out. So I'm not going to. But I will say, unfortunately, in March, well, fortunately in March, we had a lot of people join the game. We had 11 or 12 people playing. Much smaller group this time. There are only 4 people playing, and Troy and I are 2 of them. So less less competition going on, but it also means there's a lot more room for someone to come out and succeed. Um, I've already told you that Onosato and Hakuoho are 2 of my choices, so I guess in this case I'm the Yokozuna that people need to fear before they come up. But there we go. The day 7 matches will begin in about, time is it? In about 4 or 5 hours. When Troy and I come back tomorrow, and for those of you who, I see a couple of people have tuned in while I've been talking, Troy can't make it tonight, and we are going to do a live show tomorrow in the afternoon Pacific time. So about 16 hours from now, roughly. Somewhere between noon and 3 Pacific time on Saturday. And we'll cover days 1 to 7 and talk about what's going on and review the Fantasy Oyakata game. So, until then, I thought about pulling up all of the usual intro and outro stuff, but that seems a little formal for this kind of setting. I'm gonna log out now and get ready to watch the day 7 matches again. If you don't usually, please drop by the Facebook group, the Sumo Show Facebook group, where each day I put a link to the video that Kintamayama posts. He only keeps them active for about 24 or 48 hours. So if you don't watch them quickly, they're going to disappear. But when NHK puts its daily roundup up, I also link that in the comments below each day's post. But I start each day with a post saying, okay, here's where things stand, and here's what I'm thinking about based on what happened yesterday. It'll often be about how different people were performing. Like I say, today I wrote a couple of paragraphs about Hoshoryu, and if you read them now, I guess you've just listened to me say my thoughts. So that's what I'm going to be saying in the post. But come back each day and check it out. Until tomorrow, or until you pop into the Facebook group, I'll say to you, ciao, mata ne. See you soon.